Another question on social media is that I'm a coach and I'm leery and scared a bit to go on social media. I'm afraid what people will think, or I'm afraid of, how people will receive me. And I know I need to overcome this because I'm not getting out and not exposing myself. And so, can you, what could you say about that? Well, if you're concerned about social media and you're worried about what other people think, you're not focused on the client, you're focused on you. When you focus on the client, you focus on the service to them, you're less likely to be conscious about what you look like or how you sound or how you present. Now, I'm all for basically going and doing a video of yourself and take a look at what you're doing and see what you can do to refine it and polish it to make it look more presentable and professional or whatever. That's fine. I can't say I've had that big problem about speaking since I was about 23. I have more of a fear of not speaking than I do about speaking out. But social media basically has all kind of people out there that are only showing their upsides. And if you compare yourself to somebody that's only showing their upsides and not their real self, you might beat yourself up. So don't compare yourself to anybody else out there. Just focus on who you want to serve and get your message out there. You know, you the more you practice things, the more professional you become at it, and the more you do it, you learn to play the flute by playing the flute. So get out there and play the flute. Now, if there's somebody that's you're fearing about it, well, then you're basically assuming that there's more drawbacks than benefits to you, or you wouldn't be having a fear. Fear is an assumption that there's more drawbacks and benefits of some action that you're doing in the future you're afraid is going to happen. So if you go out there and write down all the benefits of the worst thing that can happen and clear out, see how you can use it to your advantage, it's called mitigating risk. You're less likely to have fear. I was uh, I was at a conference one time, or not. It wasn't really a conference, just a live presentation to I don't know, maybe 100 people. And it was interesting. There's a lady that got up and she froze up on stage, just froze, and she was knowledgeable, but not obviously used to speaking. She froze. And so I just took it upon myself, and I wasn't sure if it was the most professional thing to do, but I got up, walked up on the stage, and I rolled up a piece of paper, and I said, if you're having a fear, that means you're thinking about yourself and not your audience. And so I said, you must be comparing yourself to somebody in the audience, because if this was a bunch of kids that were in kindergarten class, would you have any fear? And she goes, no. If it was in first grade or second grade, no. If it was high school, she said it might be problems. If it was college, she said, I definitely have a problem. I said, the second you have somebody in your audience that you're afraid is going to judge you and that their opinion is more important than you, and you think they have more knowledge about the topic you're talking about than you, you're probably going to be self conscious because you're comparing yourself to them instead of comparing your actions to the goal that you have. So I basically took a piece of paper, turned it into a tube, and had her look out, find out who it is in the audience that she was intimidated by. And there's only 3 people out of 100 people that she was intimidated by. One woman, she thought she was more intelligent than her. One woman thought more achieving than her, and the other one wealthier than her. And so what she was talking about is a principle of success and how to grow your business and make more income. So she was basically comparing herself to somebody out there that had more than her. As a result of it, I sat there and I said, you don't see in others something that you admire without having it inside you, but you may be too humble to admit you have it. So I said, let's look at where do you have what you see in her? Where is your intelligence? And she was not realizing that she had intelligence in her area of expertise, but she was comparing it to this other woman, or at least the perception of the other woman. So I asked her where it was, and I made her look at where she had it until she saw the equal amount. And then she looked, she goes, I'm not intimidated by that woman now. And then over here, I did the same thing for success, and over here on wealth, and find out where her form of wealth is, because there's many forms of wealth. There's spiritual wealth, intellectual wealth, business wealth, financial wealth, family wealth, social wealth, health wealth. And then I made her find out where her wealth was and where all of a sudden her achievements were. And she had knowledge and experiences and things that somebody else doesn't have. You know, when you go and you do a presentation at Toastmasters, they ask you to do your icebreaker, where you have to stand up and do a story on your own life. When you do that, you know nobody out there has more knowledge about your own life than you, so you have less fear about speaking it. So what she did is she owned all the things she saw in those people, and I got down off the stage. I said, present. And there was no fear about presenting then, because now she's focusing on what the mission was, what was her message. Those with a mission have a message. And then she basically realized that the people out there were just people. And she didn't have to put them on a pedestal or pit. She put them in a heart. And so sometimes we are frightened about somebody's opinion of us. And we, instead of focusing on the mission of what we're trying to provide for people, and if you're focused on yourself, you're not focusing on serving them. So concentrate on the service to them. Get clear about what the service is to them. And realize that whoever's out there, whatever you think is out there, is probably a facade. You're probably exaggerating it. And people that are really out there that are usually successful want to encourage you. They don't want to intimidate you. They want to encourage you about going up there. So there's no harm in doing it. If you're a little humble when you start, that's okay. Nobody's going to judge you. They're going to encourage you. But if you go out there and if you somehow expect yourself to be knowledgeable in an area that's not competent, and you come out there and compare yourself to people that may not even be who you think, you just exaggerate them, and then you go by social media, which they only share with you their upsides, not their downsides often, you're going to get distorted views about yourself because you're going to compare it to people that you've got distorted views about. So go and stick with your core competence. Go and present something that's meaningful. Make sure that when you're on social media, you're presenting something that's authentic to you, and just know that you're going to get the people that match you. And if you're trying to worry about other people's opinions, it's not what's important. What's matter is your own opinion of what your mission is. I've many times had people's opinions of all different sorts around me, and I always look for the opposite. If somebody condemns me or criticizes me, I always look for who's the praiser and who's the gullible. For every skeptic, there's a gullible. For every criticizer, there's a praiser. I look for the other side. I center myself. I focus on my mission, and I keep going. So if you're concerned about social media, you're probably comparing yourself to other people. Probably you're thinking somebody out there is going to call you an imposter or whatever. And if you're not authentic, well, you are. And all they can do is help you realize that. So stick to what your core competence is. Make sure you really know what you're going to present. Make sure that you do your due diligence and present something that really serves people. And then focus on caring about them, not worrying about you. If you're worried about you, you're not thinking about them. If you want to grow your business and get social media going on your favor, care about people. And when they sense you care about them and you're really trying to serve them, they attend to you and they help you get what you want. If you help other people get what they want to get in life, you get what you want to get in life.